Hey everybody, this is Chris Crazy House, and this is going to be my review for the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out in theaters about 2 weeks ago. So I had a chance to go see it. Both my daughter and I are big fans of the Mario Brothers game series. So I took her to the movie theater to actually go see it, and we both thoroughly enjoyed the movie. As someone who is a nostalgic video game fan, someone who's been around since the beginning of Mario Brothers, it was amazing to see. And for my daughter, who was a young Mario fan who plays a lot of the newer games like Mario Maker and Mario 3D World, she truly enjoyed it as well. So I think that this film, it does a great job as far as getting all of the nostalgic feel as well as getting all of the newer and younger fans in there. So let me just start off by saying that as far as a Mario or a video game movie could go, I believe this is probably the most perfect translation you're ever going to get of a video game movie, something that's directly from the video game and put onto a film. Okay, and I think that the creators of the Mario Brothers universe, like Shigeru Miyamoto, were heavily involved in this film, and Nintendo had its stamp all over this movie. So it wasn't just a situation where a gaming company just kind of handed over their property to one of these movie studios and said, you go do what you want. It wasn't that at all. Nintendo had a tight grip on this, and I could tell just from the amount of licensed imagery and characters and music that was poured into this film. Okay, they did an amazing job of putting a lot of stuff from classic Nintendo to modern Nintendo and piling it all into one movie. And one of the things that I thought was a strength of this Mario movie is that they did not try to explain a lot of things that happen within the Mario universe. So I'm going to give you some details, but I'm warning you that that might give you some spoilers if you have not seen the film. So if you have not seen the film, go watch it and then you can watch my review. Okay, I think I've waited long enough though. It's been 2 weeks, so I feel like I've waited long enough that if anyone was going to see it, they've seen it already and they're ready to hear a spoiler-filled review. Okay, so what I was saying was that they didn't try to intellectualize or explain certain things. It just was what it was. Mario eats a magic mushroom and he gets bigger and stronger. That's it. That's what happens in the game. That's what happens in the movie. They don't try to intellectualize it by saying, well, it's because this magic property of the mushroom and this because of this environment and this, that, and the third. They don't do all that. And I'm so glad that they did not waste time in the movie trying to explain certain things like that. I'm glad that they just let it be what it was. Because, I mean, if you've ever played a Mario game, you know a lot of that stuff makes no real valid sense. It just is what it is. Okay, it fits a certain aesthetic. I mean, we're talking about a plumber from New York going into a magical kingdom and fighting dragons and turtles and, being helped by these little mushroom people. That's what the movie is. That's what the game is. They don't try to really overly explain everything, and I think that was a smart way to go. If you can remember that old live action Mario movie that came out way back when, they tried to explain that a meteor hit Earth during prehistoric times and it split Earth in two, and there's a whole nother dimension of dinosaurs evolving into humanoid reptiles. Like, that was terrible. And we all know how bad that film was. It's funny now because of this new movie, Mario now has literally the worst game movie and the best game movie ever made. Now that's very interesting. Like, the fact that a game series can actually hold that distinction when it comes to film. But yeah, so I thought they did a great job as far as putting the elements of the game and compiling it into a good way to make a movie and form a narrative around it. And one of the ways they did that was not wasting too much time doing exposition and explaining everything. So let me just give you a basic idea of what the story was. It's very basic. This was a kids movie, so don't go there expecting some grand plot or lots of twists or whatever. This is a kids movie, and that's why I was actually enthused when I heard that Illumination would be doing the animation for this film and doing the directing and stuff, because I think Illumination has a great grip on doing children's movies. I mean, I have a young child. We've watched all those Minion movies, okay? So I know a lot of those Minion movies by heart, because those used to be my daughter's favorite characters. And we watch those over and over again, and they do a great job as far as telling stories for kids. And which is sad, because a lot of the bigger studios that are bigger than Illumination have kind of lost their way as far as doing content for children. They always try to cram adult themes and too much adult content or modern political themes into these films, and it comes off as preachy, and it's not as timeless and wholesome as this film could be. But with this Mario movie, Illumination and Nintendo joins together, and they had a good handle on it. So the basic story is that, you know, Mario and his brother Luigi, they just quit their main job, and they decided to become plumbers working for themselves. And they find a mysterious pipe system underground in New York City, and it takes them to the Mushroom Kingdom. They get separated, so Luigi goes into the kingdom where King Bowser is, the bad guy of the game, and Mario actually goes to the Mushroom Kingdom, and he wants to find and help and save his brother Luigi. So he gets some training from Princess Peach and Toad, and what's very interesting about the training, it all looks just like the classic side-scrolling Mario games. You know, all the jumping on things and jumping through pipes and everything else. All that training looks just like the regular games that we all grew up playing. So, you know, he gets his training, learns how to use special abilities, and then they basically join up with the Donkey Kong universe and their people to go rescue Luigi and stop Bowser from taking over the entire Mushroom Kingdom. That's the basic plot of the story. That's basically what it is. There's a little inside story going on there as to why Bowser wants to take over. It's not just, he's not taking over just to conquer. He's taking over because he's secretly in love with Princess Peach, and apparently that's caused a little bit of a controversy. I might talk about that in another video, but to me, honestly, as far as the story goes, I don't feel like that's not something that's terrible or that ruins the film. First of all, it's been alluded to in the games over the years. That's why he keeps kidnapping Princess Peach, is because he's in love with her. And then if you look at some of the newer games like Mario Odyssey, he actually does try to get married to Peach. In fact, they reenact some of that stuff in this Mario movie. At the end of the movie, Bowser tries to get married to Princess Peach, and he has on the same outfit that he has excuse me, that he has in Mario Odyssey. So that's the basic plot of the film. And once again, I feel like where this film succeeds is just how the story was told, how they kept it very simple. So in that way, they were allowed to incorporate a lot of references and characters and music from different games within the Mario series. So if you watch this film, you're going to see stuff from classic Mario games like Mario 1, 2, and 3, and Super Mario World. You're going to see stuff from Mario Kart. You're going to see stuff from some of the newer games like Smash Brothers and Mario 3D World and Mario Maker. So a lot of that new stuff and the old stuff is all incorporated into this one movie. And like I said, you'll hear the musical cues and everything. So if you know your video game music themes and you know your Mario themes, you're going to hear them all through the soundtrack. I think they did an amazing job with the soundtrack. I would like to buy just the soundtrack on its own, because I think they did a great job putting all those musical cues all into one soundtrack and making it all blend together perfectly. The animation I thought was very well done. I like the way the characters look. So it has that very cartoony look that you expect from the Mario games, but like I said in my very first video that I talked about the Mario movie on this channel, they use a lot of real world textures. So a lot of the clothing has real world textures on them. A lot of the hair is done with real hair dynamics. So it's not like one solid shape like you see in even the newer Mario video games. They actually have real textured human hair for like Mario's mustache and his hair, and his clothing has real, like, real human denim textures and stuff for the jeans and whatnot. So I thought they did a great job with the animation and the look of the film. Everything looks great. It looks exactly like the characters that we remember from the games, but it's updated a little bit to give it some more realistic texture and look and feel, and how it reacts to the lighting in every situation. So I guess maybe the only flaws I can maybe think of were, I thought as far as the character of Luigi goes, I wish we could have seen more of him. He's not in the film as much as he probably should be. And I mean, Luigi, I know he's considered Mario's brother and a secondary character. He's almost become like kind of like a joke that he is Mario's brother, but he is special to the continuity, and he's also very special to a lot of people. There are a lot of people out there who are fans of Luigi who know what it's like, even as a child, that they have someone to lock on to who was not considered, maybe the brightest child in their family, or not the brightest child in their class, or everyone loved their older brother and they didn't get the same attention. So a lot of people have locked on to Luigi in that way. That's why he has a lot of his own game series, like Luigi's Mansion and whatnot. And they kind of showed a little bit of that stuff there when he was getting chased by the Dry Bones Koopas and the Shy Guys. He was kind of being chased around in these scary spots. I was expecting to see some ghosts, those boos, chasing Luigi around, and you had to turn around and look at them so they'll stop chasing you, but they didn't have that. So I would hope if they have a sequel, they add more of Luigi there. Like, he did get a chance to shine at the end, which I was surprised of. I'll just spoil it for you if you haven't seen it yet, so if you want to skip ahead, you can. But the spoiler is Mario and Luigi both get the invincibility star together, and they both in tandem tag team King Koopa, Bowser, and all the other Koopas and beat the heck out of all of them. And so they both get a chance to shine at the end, and they show off how they are the Super Mario Brothers together. The theme of being a family unit and working together comes through by the end. And Mario keeps saying this thing to Luigi: as long as you and I are together, nothing can go wrong. As long as you and I are together, everything's going to be okay. So I did enjoy that theme in the film of brotherly love. But yeah, I mean, that's my overall review. What I would like to see more of, like if they do a sequel, I hope that they keep up with the same prototype where they keep it simple and not try to, cram it with too much exposition or anything like that. Just keep the story simple while you introduce these newer characters. I would like to see some of the other princesses like Daisy or Rosalina. I would love to see more of Yoshi. I would love to see the Koopa Kids. I used to love the Koopa Kids from Super Mario Bros. 3 and on. Those little bad Koopa Kids. I've done artwork of them here on this channel. If you haven't seen it, just go check out my fan art freestyle playlist and you'll see them there. But yeah, I would love to see those characters in the film. Maybe some more references to some of the other games, like maybe Mario Party, because that's probably the only one I really didn't see as much of in the film. They did a great job. That Mario Kart sequence is amazing. Kind of like the Donkey Kong / Smash Bros. That scene is amazing. Seeing Donkey Kong and Mario fight in kind of like an arena, that was a great scene. And you'll see some of the other stuff like adding on like Mario Odyssey parts like the wedding. I think that turned out very well. The voice acting was great. I was not one of those people who was bothered by Chris Pratt's doing the voice of Mario. They tried a few things in the film, like where they kind of make fun of him trying to do this over-the-top Italian accent, like even his, because you get to meet Mario's entire family, like his mother, his father, and grandfather, and other brothers, and even they ask, like, why are you talking like that? Because him and Luigi film a commercial where they're doing kind of like the stereotypical Italian voice that they do in the games, and his family asks, like, why are you talking like that? We don't talk like that. But you know, that I guess that was their answer for the whole why is Mario not using his typical voice all through the film. Probably the most outstanding voice acting in the film was done by Jack Black, who played King Bowser. I think he did a tremendous job. He even does some singing, very reminiscent of Tenacious D. If anyone's ever listened to any of the Jack Black's Tenacious D albums or anything like that, you'll hear some of that type of singing in this film as Bowser is singing and trying to serenade Princess Peach. I believe the video is available and you can watch it here on YouTube of him singing. But I think he did a great job with that voice. It fit the character so perfectly, and you can get a sense of he's a villain and he's evil, but he's also kind of goofy as well, which is what Bowser needs to be. That's how he's always been portrayed in a lot of the games, or if you even think back to the original Mario Brothers cartoons that used to come on in like the late 80s, early 90s. That's how his character has always been. Okay, he's a villain, he's a bad guy, but he's also kind of goofy too. And I think Nintendo does a great job as far as striking that balance for having a character that is mean and villainous, but also kind of silly that kids can love. Even if you see the picture that I posted of my daughter when we went to go see the movie, she has her Bowser toy in her hand, and she likes playing with that toy, especially when we play toys together, because like I said, Bowser is mean and evil, but he's also extremely silly. Okay, he's not to be taken too seriously. But that is my review for the Mario film. Once again, I think between Nintendo, Illumination, and Universal doing the distribution, I think they did a tremendous job with this film. It is a film that you can safely take your children to, and they won't be scared of anything or hurt by anything that they see. It's all family fun, and I think they did a great job with that. And if you're a nostalgic video game fan, there's lots of stuff in there that you'll get. Lots of references to a lot of classic Nintendo games, not just Mario. There's a lot of classic references to Donkey Kong, to Punch-Out, to Kid Icarus, even to the classic Super Mario Brothers TV show with Captain Lou Albano that used to come on back in the day. They even got references to that. So lots of references to a lot of things from Mario's history are in this film, and I know a lot of the classic game fans like myself who grew up with Nintendo will also enjoy this film. So you can take your kids to go see it. They'll have fun, and you'll have just as much fun as them. And there really has not been too many movies like that in a long time where the adults and the children can both enjoy what they're watching at the same time and get all the jokes from and references from the movie. Usually there's a generation gap. You don't really have that with this film, and I think that's why it's going to be very successful, and I hope it gets the sequels that it deserves. Anyway, guys, this is Chris Crazy House. Make sure you sub to this channel, and make sure you like this video when you watch it, and let me know what you thought of the Super Mario Brothers movie in the comments section. Anyway, Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.